It's kind of weird when you think about it. You can walk forwards, you can walk backwards, you can even do a little sidestep. But time? Nope. Time is the ultimate one-way street. You can't hit reverse, you can't press pause, and you definitely can't skip ahead. So, what gives? Okay, let's dive into this huge mystery.
So yeah, that's the big question we're going to tackle. We are officially on a mission to figure out why our past feels like it's set in stone, while the future is just, well, a total blank. And our first clue? It's probably hiding in your kitchen right now. All right, our investigation starts with something we've all experienced, and it's always frustrating: the broken coffee mug. I want you to think of this as the scene of a cosmic crime. We're the detectives, and we're here to find out who or what is really responsible. Come on, we've all been there. That horrible slow-motion moment as your favorite mug just slips out of your hand and shatters into a million pieces. It's a sight we all know. But have you ever, not once, seen those pieces just spontaneously leap off the floor and put the mug back together again? Of course not. That'd be crazy. But here's where it gets really weird. The most fundamental laws of physics we have, like gravity, motion, all that stuff, they're totally reversible. The math works just fine whether time is flowing forward or backward. But our reality, what we actually see every single day, tells us that's just nonsense. Mugs only break, they don't unbreak. So clearly, something else is running the show here.
So, if the basic laws of physics don't really care which way time goes, what does? Well, it's time to introduce our prime suspect in this entire mystery, a really powerful idea called entropy. Entropy is just a fancy scientific word for messiness, chaos, randomness. And here is the absolute key. The universe has this powerful, overwhelming tendency for things to get more disordered over time, not less. To get a feel for this, let's stick with the kitchen analogies. Picture cracking an egg into a bowl. For a second, the yolk and the white are kind of separate, but with just a little stir, they mix together super easily. You've just made that whole system more disordered.
Now just try to go the other way. Can you perfectly separate every single molecule of yolk from every molecule of white? No way, right? It's basically impossible. You can't unmix the egg because you're trying to fight the universe's natural slide into messiness.
And the reason why is just simple probability. I mean, think about it. There are only a handful of ways for an egg to be perfectly separated, but there are just astronomically more ways for all those molecules to be jumbled up together. The universe just goes with the odds, and the odds are always in favor of more chaos. Now, this preference for chaos isn't just, a suggestion. It is one of the most fundamental, unbreakable rules of the entire cosmos. It's known as the Second Law of Thermodynamics.
And this is it. This is the big one. The second law says that the total entropy or disorder of a closed system, like our universe, will always go up. To put it simply, things fall apart. Stuff gets messy. Order just naturally falls into chaos. This isn't a rule you can bend.
Okay, so let's tie this all back to our poor broken mug. A whole mug is a very ordered, low entropy thing. When it shatters, it moves to a much more disordered, high entropy state. And that irreversible jump, that journey from neat to messy, that is what our brains perceive as the forward arrow of time.
But hold on. This brings up a really mind-bending question. If the universe is always getting messier, what does that tell us about how it all began?
Seriously, think about it. If you could rewind the cosmic clock, you'd be moving toward a state with less and less chaos, right? So logically, that must mean the universe began in a state of incredibly low entropy, a state of almost perfect order. This idea actually has a name. It's called the past hypothesis. It's basically the theory that the universe started out in this very special, super-ordered condition. Now, we don't really know why it started that way, but we know that this incredibly neat beginning was the necessary starting point for the one-way trip to chaos that we all experience as time. So, here's the bottom line. The arrow of time exists because our universe had a very tidy beginning and has been on a one-way trip toward maximum chaos ever since. We're all just passengers on the Hot Mess Express. Okay, so we have a pretty good idea of why time moves forward, but what does all this really mean for us? Let's switch gears from the why to the so what, because there's actually a kind of profound beauty hidden in this whole irreversible process.
This is the ultimate question, isn't it? If we get how it works, why can't we just reverse it? Why can't we just pop back in time and not say that super awkward thing we said at that party 5 years ago?
Well, to travel back in time, you wouldn't just be rewinding your own little personal story. Oh no. You would have to reverse the increasing entropy of the entire universe. You'd have to unbreak every single mug, unmix every single egg, unspill every glass of milk, all at once. The amount of energy and control you'd need would be, well, practically infinite. It goes against the fundamental nature of everything.
But here's the beautiful flip side of this one-way street. It means every single moment is completely unique. This very second has never happened before, and it will never, ever happen again. I absolutely love this way of looking at it. We aren't just passive observers watching time tick by. We are active participants. We're all riding this huge cosmic wave of increasing disorder that kicked off with the Big Bang and is carrying us toward the future.
So here's a fun little thought to take with you. The next time you drop something or your room gets messy, don't feel too bad about it. You're not clumsy, you're just being a good citizen of the cosmos, helping the universe fulfill its destiny by obeying its most important rule.
And that really brings us to our final thought. Since every single moment is a unique, unrepeatable event on this grand one-way journey, it kind of makes you think, doesn't it? What will you do with the precious, irreversible time that you have?